G'day, it's Ecom Rebel. We're back live again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got some people already on the channel. Mr. Bazinga, g'day, how you doing? Manto, what's up? Music Service, hey, how you doing? Good to have you guys on board. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Let's find a winner first. Let's do that. Okay, so our last video, so if you're new to this, all you need to do to win some Bitcoin Cash is like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to the channel, and make sure you put a comment or a question in there followed by your Bitcoin Cash address. And what I'll do is every day I will draw a random winner and to see who's going to get the Bitcoin Cash, which I'm going to do right now. Let's see who the winner's going to be. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Don't know. Nice as always. Not really a question. I suppose it's a comment. You know, some of you guys probably need to put a little bit more effort into this. I will send you some Bitcoin Cash. Oh, what is the problem here? Oh, that's just double check. We are on Bitcoin Cash. Let me just check. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, your wallet's wrong. So I'm going to have to pick another winner. Sorry about that, but you got to put the correct Bitcoin Cash address in, and my wallet says it's not good enough. So let's do another one. Hey, look at that. That's awesome. The Music Service. And the Music Service is on live with us tonight. Congrats. Awesome. So let's see if your Bitcoin Cash address works. And it does. Well done. All right, I'm going to send you $10 now. Send that to you right now, and you can let me know that you've got it. That would be good. And I was doing a transfer before. This Bitcoin Cash is fast. I mean, Dash is fast as well, but this was like instantaneous. So yeah. So literally I'm pressing the button now, and there'll be a little bit of delay, maybe 30 seconds. And then you should get your little cha-ching. The money should drop into your wallet. So that's done. Well done. Congrats. And I appreciate you being on live. You're welcome. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Let's have a look now. We'll just bring up the market today. Now, what I've noticed, I don't know if you guys are noticing this. Yeah, always got my coffee. I love coffee. Well, I'm talking to you guys like for half an hour, so I'm gonna have my coffee for that. Okay, so where are we at? So what I've noticed is, so I'm in like Brisbane, Australia, right? And yeah, yes, Mr. Bazinga, it is nice to have a first-time winner that actually watches a live stream. I think surely we might just switch it up. I'm getting so many bots jumping on board. I'm thinking maybe just doing the lives. The only drawback is some people can't get on the live at the particular time. I mean, I mainly do it Brisbane time, which is about 9 o'clock here right now at night time. So the problem is that other people won't get to participate in it as well. But, you know, there's so many bots going on right now. I'm thinking maybe do something just for you guys for live. So yeah, but I don't know about doubling up and just giving it away and then giving away live as well. It's like double commitment what I'm doing right now at the moment. I'm happy with the $10. It's just working out best way to do that. So I don't know if you guys have got any suggestions from in the live stream. That'd be good. All right. So what I've noticed in the market is the following. So I get up in the morning, you know, had a bit of a sleep in this morning, got up because it was Saturday, and I looked at the market and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's green. Everything's green. It's awesome. Bitcoin, everything was up, like it was huge. And then when I get around to this time now, like nighttime, by this time the market's actually dropped back a bit than what it was. And what I think I've heard this before, and I think it's the case. At the moment, it's just anecdotal evidence. I haven't really got anything concrete, but maybe I can find something concrete about the different time zones. But basically, you got the US markets, and everything goes green, and they're buying up. Okay, and then they go to sleep, and you got the Asian market. And I suppose we're in the Asian market where we are, and when it wakes up, they're like selling off. And so I see in the morning, I see really big gains overnight. Like I saw, I don't know, everything was in like fifth. I'm sure it was 10% on Bitcoin, maybe more. I saw really big numbers today, like double-digit numbers there, like tens mainly, and 15s across the board. And then what I see is by the time we roll around with the live stream and like at night time, it's actually backed off. And I think it's just to do with maybe the Asian market selling off or something like that. So I've heard that before. I don't have strong evidence for it, but I think that's what happens. Basically, US and basically, let's just say the US market. That US market, that time zone buys up. Let's say the Western markets. And then when it comes to the Asian markets, when Western goes to sleep, all the Asian markets are selling off, because they're in, I don't know what the story is, whether they want to get out of crypto or whether, they're putting pressure for the government's putting pressure on them, whatever the reasons. But that seems to be happening. So the market was up a lot more, and then it's backed off a bit. So, but there's been some heavy hitters today. Ripple, not so favorite coin of mine for different reasons, but it's up 33%. That's a huge increase. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum up 5%. Bitcoin Cash down a little bit, but it did have a big run up in the last few days. I believe to do with the Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining has been harder, so they switched to Bitcoin Cash, and the hash power went up, and then more people are into Bitcoin Cash, which drove the price up as well. Litecoin nearly 8-9%, Stellar 9%, Neo about the same, EOS up 6%, IOTA up 8%. So we had a good run. Even Tron down here at 30%, up to 4 cents. So it's been all in all, it was a good day. Only Bitcoin Cash lost about 5.8, but I'm sure earlier it was up in the day. So this was another good day. We might. I'll just quickly switch to Coinigy. We'll have a quick look at a graph before we go on with the rest of the news. But I just want to show you what a strong day it's been. All right, so this is, where are we at? We're at GDAX, Bitcoin versus USD. All right, we're on the hourly at the moment. We'll just switch back to daily so you get a bit of a perspective. And then we'll jump in daily. So here's, we're not out of the woods yet. I'll just turn off the volume. But, okay, we went down to this area here, just under 6. And then we've had like 3 pretty good strong candles there. We've started a new candle now. So we've had, basically 3 strong candles. We're not quite out of the woods yet, but this is probably one of the best strong sort of 3 candles we've had there. Nice bullish candles. At the moment, we're forming a little bit top there with that candle pattern. But essentially, this is a good sign. Okay, we switch to the 1 hour. So you can see, where are we? So this is basically on a day-to-day basis. So you can see this is when we're right around about 5,800, and we've moved up gradually. And if we have a look at those sessions, you can see that every midnight, I think I have to double check what time zone we are right now. What time zone are we here? 2100. Oh yeah, okay. So at the moment on the screen, right, these times represent my time here. So if I go back to here, so when we're on whole numbers like this 10, that means basically midnight. So I'm going to sleep, right? And then 12 o'clock during the day, that is midday. Okay, so we're getting basically when I go to sleep all the way through to midday the following day, we're getting this, this rise. Okay, so we have a look here. In this particular, I was trying to think what's every day. So we've got a sell off all the way right down to there and then back up again. So I'm not sure, like just correlating it with the Asian markets, but it is interesting. I want to try and find something that maybe backs it up. That'll be interesting to see what's going on there. So that was on GDAX. Let's have a look at Bitfinex, I think. BTC USD. So let's say charts. We'll look at Ethereum USCD. Similar chart. Litecoin. Same sort of thing. See how we were up a little bit here and then backed off a bit. Ripple, well, that went a little bit crazy, I reckon, today. But even see the spike, it went up quite a lot and back down. So yeah, that was some pretty big move from Ripple there. So, so far the market's going well and definitely looking promising. So that's exciting. Yep. So pretty happy, pretty bullish still on the market. So what I might do is we'll just switch back to... I've just got running Brave. I'm going to keep trying this Brave out. I like it. It does seem to kill most of the ads. I know these things for Chrome, but I just wanted to keep trying this Brave. I like trying new software. I like software. So I'm going to try new stuff. So I thought I'd have a quick look here. It does get rid of some of the ads. Now, in the news, I was having a look on... There was a fair bit of news today. I thought it was pretty good. So the first one I looked at was a Russian national arrested for cybercrime in Bangkok. Allegedly had 820 million in Bitcoin. Wow. Anyway, apparently he was arrested. It was to do with I think the FBI took his laptop, said that he may have had 100,000 Bitcoin when he was arrested. Apparently he's administrator for one of the dark websites called which one was it called? I don't know if they actually have the name written here. Maybe it's a bit lower here. I saw it somewhere else. There was actually the name of the site that he was allegedly running. So it'd be interesting. Basically, they're saying that they've released 36 individuals that they're trying to get. They've arrested 13 from 17 countries, and they're talking about they've defrauded 530 million. So it was something to do with, I think they were selling, well, yeah. Oh, that's right, Infraud, INFRAUD. And basically it was where I think they're selling credit card information and stuff like that. So, yeah, look, this is going to happen. If you do things that, hurt people, eventually, people are going to catch up with you. It's either going to be like the FBI or just people in general if they find you, if you screw them over enough. So yeah, it is interesting, but it just talks about like, they can track these transactions, and obviously there was a lot more involved in this. They'll probably do a book about it and then a movie, but this sort of stuff happens quite regularly. And this is why you got to be private. I'm not suggesting that you're a criminal and you want to be more private about your stuff, but even if you're a normal person, you want to be private about your stuff. So unfortunately, Bitcoin doesn't really allow for too much privacy. You've got to do a little bit more than that to be more private. If you have someone's address, you know how much is going to and from that account. So, and I'll talk tonight about something I found out interesting that's upcoming that I want to talk about. And that's probably going to take up the most of the night. If you guys, 100, Mr. Bazinga, 100,000. Just to highlight that, 100,000 Bitcoin, approximately worth 820 million, apparently. So so one of the other articles. Now this was a bit concerning. I use my Ether wallet all the time, right? So the first thing that happened was I was watching Box Mining. He started talking about what was happening with my Ether wallet. I went to Twitter, realized that the whole handle had changed for the Twitter, and it's now called MyCrypto, mycrypto.com. And I'm like, they're being hacked. apparently they've had a bit of a split. Don't know the full story yet, but essentially they've had a split between, you know, which way they're going. So this lady named Taylor, I believe, she's had control of the Twitter account, and she's basically created this MyCrypto, changed it, created a new domain name, and essentially, you know, is running this software for MyCrypto.com. And the other, I can't pronounce his name, ViewNuke or something like that. Maybe the K is silent. I'll just call him ViewNuke. Okay, so ViewNuke remains in control of the Mu GitHub repository, the Mu domain, and the AWS instances, and the MyEther wallet social accounts. So MyEther wallet, if you're not aware of it, right, I'll quickly show you what MyEther wallet looks like. God, I've got to put everything in. I don't have, I hope I get it right. I don't want to be on a dodgy website. MyEtherWallet.com. Oh, let's hope I've picked the one and it's not a dodgy one. This is the danger of typing it in. You might misspell it. And I'm like, is this the right one? Okay, well, it does look similar, but how do we know? Oh, it does have a lock symbol up there. Let's have a look at the certificate. It says myetherwallet.com, myetherwallet.com. All right, well, I'm not going to interact with it. So just, you know, I'm just not going to interact with it at the moment. But what happens is, this is how you deal with it. It's a wallet for Ethereum. So what you would do is you can make like a new wallet, okay? And then you've got this way you can interact with it. Now, I interact with it with MetaMask and also my Trezor. You can use private key or key store. These are the least two, what would you call it? Well, you can be hacked easily. Like, let's say you go to a dodgy website and you just paste in your private key. If that's a dodgy website, they can take that private key and then kiss all your Ethereum and tokens goodbye. All right. So, yeah, basically that's what you can do there. Now you can send and create new wallets, and you can send and receive tokens. So now I don't have this set up, and I don't want to show you what's in my current wallet, but maybe I think I've done a video before about this, but if I don't, I'll do another video at some stage. But basically, once you log in, you have the access to the wallet, and you can send and receive from the wallet. Now, so many people use this, and then when they've decided to, you know, change it, and where is it? Yeah, so then when they've decided to split this project and just go, you know, to this other thing called MyCrypto, it's like, you know, is this for real? Is this a dodgy thing? And this is important because you have no idea just how much these wallets offer, that everyone uses them, like how much Ethereum and dollar value goes through them. It's a lot. And so Joseph Young, he's well known on Twitter, says, my Ether wallet's abrupt change in branding to MyCrypto should have been announced by using my Ether wallet social media accounts first. This is very amateurish way of handling it. This is coming from an everyday user of Mu and its biggest fan. And I would have to agree, like with all the stuff that goes on, just splitting and then changing the name, but also leaving the old one. So now there's the new one and the old one. And basically the devs have went the separate ways, and you see a lot of this. You see forks, you see devs going different directions, and this is another example of that. The problem is that, you know, do you trust them? If they lose control of that Twitter account, you know, what else can go wrong? Can someone else get a control of that? Are they going to then take your private keys if you put them in? You might not get, like, it's probably best to use something like, you know, I think I'll talk to you about the Trezor, okay? So maybe you need a Trezor or a Ledger hardware wallet. That way your private keys aren't exposed. So you definitely need to do something like that. I mean, I think I paid, I don't know, $400 or $500 to get two of those. I think Ledger's a little bit cheaper. So yeah, there's some different options there. But essentially, I would be, you know, not using that private key function. I used to use it quite regularly, where you just paste that private key in, but the problem is you just don't know who now is on the other end getting access to your private keys. So I suggest strongly that you use MetaMask, which is a plugin. Make sure you get the correct MetaMask plugin, and or Ledger or Trezor, which protect your private keys. Okay, those private keys are on that device, so they don't interact. They're protected essentially. However, MyEtherWallet is still a fantastic thing. It is a shame though that they did that without sort of discussing it first with people. So that was so we've covered the Russian. So be wary of that. Make sure that you get a hardware device or maybe even MetaMask to interact with MyCrypto, because you really don't know what's going on in the background. Also, what have we got here? Excellent. Behance is back online. So, you know, people were saying maybe it was hacked, blah, 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 but it didn't turn out to be that. It turned out to be a DDoS attack on their cloud server, was resolved, and now basically they're reviewing accusations of being hacked, blah, 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 and it's just technical issues. So I'm pretty happy that it was just technical issues. I logged back in there today and everything was fine. And so I think you can still join up. I think I've got a link for Binance if you want to join up for that, if you haven't already. I believe they are taking new users at the moment. And also they're offering 2-week 70% discount on trading fees for gratitude for the unwavering support throughout the upgrade process. So that is a good thing. So that's excellent news from Behance being back online. Had a quick look on investing.com. I don't think there was much happening there. I couldn't really see anything. Might be on the wrong one. I think I'm on AU and not the US one. Who knows? Let's see if it changes. Whenever you put a specific country in, like I could put Australia in, and then I get completely different content that's crap. So I'm going to try go away and no thanks. News, crypto news. Let's see if there's anything else here that I haven't seen. Yeah, look at that, more info. India tax department issues notices to 100,000 crypto investors. Yep. Governments want to get the money out of you. Love it. What else? Yeah, there's an article about XRP surging to $1.20, 50% overnight. And it went down a little bit over than that. Oh, that's interesting. Russians arrested for mining Bitcoin at a nuclear facility. I've got to look at that one. Oh, nothing against Russians, but man, is there some Russians doing some interesting things? They seem to, I don't know, could be other countries, I suppose. But, the last Russian I just spoken about then got done for something bad, arrested by the FBI. Now we've got Russians arrested for mining Bitcoin near a nuclear facility. So several employees detained and attempted to use a work computing facilities for personal ends for mining. So it's like, oh yeah, I've got a fast computer at work. I'm going to mine some Bitcoin on it. So apparently they were detained by authorities. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there you go. So it was a supercomputer. Wow. At the time, it was the 12th most powerful computer in the world. So, well, if you got access to it, why not give it a go and see if you can mine Bitcoin? What a headline. Russian arrested for mining Bitcoin nuclear facility. Wonder if they'll go to jail for that. I don't know, but my goodness. I suppose if you wanted to give it a go, it'd be very tempting, wouldn't it? That's pretty funny. Okay. So that's all good. I think we've covered most of that news. Now, I just want to check if you guys got anything interesting in the live chat. Will we get another drop to 5 or 6K? You know what? I don't think so. Could be. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet, but I think it's going to stay close to where it is at the moment. I don't foresee it. I'll say it out there that it's not going to go any below. who knows? I'd like to see it continue moving in the direction it is. Certainly, we're going to get, maybe a couple of days where it's going to retrace a little bit, but I don't see it completely going back to where it was before. I don't see that at this stage. All right. Now, what I want to talk about tonight, I want to talk about this. Da-da-da-da. Bitcoin Private. Now, you may not be aware, but Bitcoin Private is like this merge between, well, it's like a fork of two coins. Normally you have a fork, with, I don't know, Bitcoin fork. We've seen a bunch of Bitcoin forks, right, happening. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond. There's been a whole heap of them. All right, well, this one is between two coins, Bitcoin and Zclassic. Okay, now, and it's going to create this Bitcoin private chain. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I was having a look at one of the comments. I'll probably try and find it shortly, but basically it was saying, I don't know how you said you can make money in 90 days off, cryptocurrency. How can you make profits off while the market's going down and all this sort of stuff? Well, you just got to get smart, right? You've got to do things that you might be just looking at the market going, it's plummeting. But in the last 30 days, I've made more money than in probably the last 6 months. Okay? While the market is completely obliterated. And how do you do that? You do it because you do different things to what normal people do. People see the market and go, oh, it's going down. Well, if I buy it and it's going down, I'm going to make no money. I'll give you a little heads up. Here's like this little tip I got off one of the guys on YouTube. I saw him talk about this about a week ago, Vincent. And I'm like looking at it going, I heard what he said about it, and I thought, I'll check it out. So I'm having a look now. And when I saw it, I thought, this is a winner. Okay, this is something that is just going to work. It is going to take off. So you got two forks from Bitcoin and Zclassic, which are going to create this new one called Bitcoin Private. So why is it special to have another Bitcoin? So the difference is, remember we talked about privacy before? There is some privacy coins. They're going to be big. We've got taxation. We've got, criminals that, the criminals that don't want to be found out. Normal people that don't want to be found out, investigated for anything. They want to keep their transactions private, okay? And why not? Why not have your transaction? Why does the government or why does anyone have to know what you're doing? So this is, I do like the whole privacy thing. So Bitcoin Private will use the same privacy technology as Zclassic. This means that payments are published on the blockchain, but the sender, recipient, and other transactional meta remain unidentifiable. Okay, so the sender, recipient, and other data is unidentifiable, but the payment is published on the blockchain. That's pretty cool. No different to some of the other ones, okay? But Bitcoin is peer-to-peer. It's fast. Far as I know, it's a 2.5 minute block time as opposed to the other, like a 10-minute. Open source, community driven, and a fair start. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but before Zclassic was Zcash, right? And Zcash, essentially they had a 20% fee that they were getting out of the mining going towards the developers for 4 years. And basically they made a lot of money out of that by doing it, okay? But this time, when what they're doing is they created Zcash. Zcash was created straight after it, and Zcash got rid of this 20% fee that from the miners and went to the development team, okay? So they got rid of that, and then we're at this stage now where you've got Zclassic, which has got all the protection, and then you've got Bitcoin, and they're going to fork it. Now, at the moment, they're talking about 28th of February. Now, today we are at 10th of February, so it's towards the end of the month. Now, they're doing a snapshot, and the fork date is approximately 2 days later, and then when they launch the mainnet. Okay, and just to be clear what's happening here is if you hold Zclassic and or BTC, right, at the time of the fork, anyone holding Z Classic or BTC in their wallet or a supported exchange will be credited Bitcoin private at a ratio of 1:1. So if you hold 15.4 Z Classic and 0.1 BTC, you'll receive 15.5. So they're actually adding up the two. So this is really interesting. So if you hold Bitcoin, you're automatically going to get Bitcoin private. And if you hold Z Classic, you are also going to get it in the 1:1 ratio. So if you hold both of them, you're actually going to get double the, basically combine the and I actually haven't seen this before where two have joined and you're getting this type of, coins. Like it's like double the amount of coins you normally would, is because it's two chains. So that's pretty cool. They're talking about they've got 70 contributors and they've got more coming on board. Okay, so this is interesting. A lot of information. I had a quick look on the website. This is Z Classic, their original website, Z Classic. And then if you have a look on CoinMarketCap, this is Zcash. So Zcash was like the first one. Okay, and you can see how they had this price like $4,000, and then there was issues and the price plummeted down. Okay, and then it stayed at this $40 level. Now currently it is at 400. So that's Zcash, but Z Classic, which came after it, ZCL. So 470 for that one. We're at $100 on Z Classic. Now, when the market was going in the last month, Z Classic hit nearly, I would say, 200. Just having a quick look at this chart, $200. Okay, so if you had owned it just around December when it was $2, massive gains there. Okay, that was perfect place to be in. And we did talk about getting into coins, pre-pump coins. However, the reason why this happened is because they were discussing this whole fork and what it would be worth and stuff like that. So the moment they started talking about they were forking and combining and making this new coin, this is when it became more valuable. So this information was available at the time and the people got into it. So now it's priced still respectably at about $106 currently. Okay, so how can you still benefit? Is there all the gains completely lost? Well, basically this is an article that was on bitcoin.com. Talked about, if you want to read it, I'll drop that in the I'll drop this in the live for you, so you can have a quick look. Yeah, how do you get Bitcoin private? Yeah, good question, Mr. Bazinga. You have to hold on to Bitcoin or Z Classic, and you have to have it on a wallet that will support it, or they're going to support it, or an exchange. And the exchange, like for example, Bittrex is an example of an exchange that supports most of the forks. So not all of them are going to support it, but in the past Bittrex has. So there's a good chance that they will support that. So Bittrex is a good place, or there may be another wallet that will support it as well. But this article talks about the less history on Z Classic when it started as Zcash, and then they didn't like the idea that the founders were going to get 20% of every block reward. Now you can argue for or against that. It depends. If you have something that the founders are going to promote and keep things going, that's fine. But it could have just been a way for them to cash out, and that could have been what happened. But anyway, since then, Zcash created Z Classic, and then they started proposing. This was on the 14th of December, which is when the price skyrocketed. Okay, and the reason was they knew that there was, coming up with a fork of Bitcoin. And there's some of the Bitcoin forks that already have existed currently right now. So there's a whole bunch of them. So this is nothing new. But Bitcoin private, basically, it's a hard fork of Bitcoin and Z Classic. It'll have the technology of Bitcoin and the privacy of Z Classic. Fair distribution, no developer reward, no pre-mine. Okay, and holders of Bitcoin and Z Classic in the appropriate exchanges or wallets will receive Bitcoin private. And I believe that's on the 28th of February. You must be holding at that time. Hard fork will be announced. Okay, so it's like a bonus. If you already got Bitcoin, you're going to get some make sure it's in the correct wallet or on the exchange like Bittrex, and then also if you hold Z Classic at the same time. So this is good, and it's going to add up to 21 million on the market cap. Now the good thing is about it is that you'll be able to make those transactions, and it'll be basically anonymous transactions, and that information is kept private. I really think even with that price increase that we've seen on that chart before, this is still something promising, because more and more people will get into coins that protect them from people having a look at their transactions and knowing what they do. So people want to be more anonymous, and this is, I think a great project to get into. And it's definitely, whenever there's a fork, it's always a good thing to get in, because look at when Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash came out. Example, some people can argue it was Bitcoin Cash, is a bad thing or whatever. Now, sure, there was some volatility in the price, but now you have a look at the difference. You've got Bitcoin Cash is, let's see what level it is right now. Level number 4. So 4 for market cap. If it was that bad, it would have died off. But the reason why it found a position here is because it's useful, it's fast, it's cheap, and essentially, it has value because people can use it. And people who had Bitcoin at the time received Bitcoin Cash, just like Bitcoin Gold come out. So essentially, if you were looking about stocks, it'd be like dividends, okay, or when you have a 2-for-1 offer or something like that. So you got to treat it the same. But obviously, you can hold your coins in any way you want. But if you've got Bitcoin and Z Classic, this is definitely a way to gain some exposure. I don't know exactly how high it's going to go up, but privacy coins are trending. People are going to be moving towards them, and this is a really interesting play. So yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Are you guys thinking, now that you've come across this, or if you already knew about this fork that was coming up, is it something that you'd be thinking of getting into? Just put it in the comments below. That'd be great. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that briefly, because and Bitcoin Private, I'll drop the website in there as for you as well. Yes, you can check it out. All right, I'll close that one down. Yeah, so I'll get some more information as we get a bit closer, but I'm definitely going to be getting some Z Classic because I want to participate in that, and I'll probably use Bittrex because I know that they have supported. I've checked in my Bittrex account today, and I've got like Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash. When it split, all that happened automatically, so that was really good. Yes, so Music Service says it's smarter to put your BTC into Z Classic at the time of the fork, because Z Classic is cheaper, and after then put it back into BTC. That's exactly right. And a lot of people will be doing that. A lot of people won't know about that, but that is a smart thing to do because it's a 1-for-1. Because Bitcoin, what are we at now? Let's say 8,000, right? Let's have a quick look. So we're 8.6, right? Whereas Z Classic is at 105. So basically you can get more Z Classic, okay, and then you're going to get more of Bitcoin Private. It's amazing. So I can't see why you wouldn't do it. So people are going to be, here's the thing, people will get, like, when they do get access to Bitcoin Private, and they won't even know about Z Classic, right? But essentially, I haven't done the math on this, but you're going to get a lot more Bitcoin Classic, right? Sorry, Bitcoin Private. You're going to get a lot more if you're holding on to Z Classic at that time. So normal people are just holding on to Bitcoin. They're going to get their fork and think, oh yeah, and then they might sell off their little bit that they get, right? Because they don't really care about it. But people who are owning Z Classic, you can essentially, for that same money, I don't know, that there's a lot more. So you can gain a lot more exposure, and then You can sell it off if you want to. Exchange now. You might argue that, hey, heaps of people are going to sell off and it might just go down. Could do, but if you believe in these privacy coins, they're going to continue to grow. And remember, it has a supply of 21 million like Bitcoin. And also they've got the mining is, they're not using ASIC mining, they're using different mining. So they're still very profitable. I was having a look today, it's profitable to mine Z Classic, and you don't need these ASIC miners that you do. So definitely can have more or less expensive hardware to run it, or you can join pools to do it. So yeah, Z Classic is, and this Bitcoin private is definitely a way to win. So this sort of, hopefully that covers, you know, some people just go, oh, the market's going down and you can't make any money from it, okay? And that's just not true. You're just not looking hard enough. So things like that definitely is going to increase your holdings. It's definitely going to increase the amount of money you have, all right? So you need to do a bit more research yourself on that and, you know, see where you go from that. So I think we'll finish up shortly. I think I mainly wanted to cover Z Classic. And also the other thing was getting into like the ICOs. You know, I do a few of those. If you in this period, in this last 30 days where the market has plummeted, there is, if we have a look at the ended ICOs, okay, these are some of the ended ones. We'll just pick a couple, and you know, this is a tough time because the market went down. So let's see if some of these have already hit the markets. Let's see what day they finished. These are 24th. I don't know, let's check Devery. Let's see if that's on the market yet. So Devery, this was a delivery one. So it has gone down. It would have lost half your value. Okay, they've raised 10 million. Didn't get into Devery. Wasn't really that exciting. Let's have a look at Zpin. They raised 62 million. They're at 0.72. So you're down a bit on those. Origin Trail. You've heard me talk about Origin Trail before. 1.99. So that's nearly 2x. Let's see if Matrix Chains is out with prices yet. Here's another one, 1.88. And just to be clear, like 1.88x, right? It's not 10%, 20%. It's like, you know, nearly 2 times your money back. Okay, so at the moment the token price was like 67 cents, and I think currently where are we at? So the token price was MAN. Let's have a look. We'll see if it's on here yet. Matrix. I wonder if that was it. MAN. Yeah, that's it. So 66 cents. What are they at the moment? Oh yeah, okay, sorry, I read that wrong. See, this token price was 36 cents and now it's at like 67 cents. So this is like practically doubled your money. All right, so you know, if you put a dollar in, you would be nearly $2 back, which means you've made nearly 100% on your money ROI. So it's not like a, you know, some coins went up 5 and 10% today. This went up basically 100%, okay, nearly 90 something percent. And it only finished on the 17th of January, okay? So these are some of the returns you can get when you're getting into ICOs, and also the so when coins do list, they've still got time to you know, get into them as well. But this is why you can get into when the market has been really down. Here's one, Trinity, okay? Token price 21 cents. That's what it is now, 21 cents. When it came out, it was 6 cents. So we're at 3.52x. You know, that's a huge return, and that one finished on the 14th of January, okay? And they raised $20 million. and this one's on the Neo block, Neo network. Okay, so when people say, oh, you can't make money when the market is being like it went from 20k right down to 5.5k, you can't make money. Well, you're not looking hard enough. You got to look and you got to research and find out what's going on. ICOs and coins that haven't pumped yet, coins that have got great projects behind them. These are the ones that are, even when the market's crashing, they're still making money. And this Bitcoin private is going to make dollars, okay? It's going to work out. So these things you need to look into and not just sit on your hands and go, oh yeah, I won't get into the market, I'm not losing. And I haven't even mentioned the aspect that you can, even when you get falls in the market, you can also, if you're actively trading, you can make some good money off those falls as well, okay? And we're not talking shorting, we're just talking normal trading of buying and selling. Don't forget, you hear about making money is buy low and sell high. You hear that all the time, and honestly, this is it. You get into an ICO where the price is cheap, as long as it's a good project, of course. You still got to know what you're doing, otherwise you're going to still lose money. But you get into the coin when it's the first time it's available, or if you don't want to get into ICOs, you wait till the coin lists on exchanges, and then obviously you're going to lose some benefit there. But once it hits exchanges, you know that that it's got that far, okay? Because some projects don't even make it that far. And then once it gets onto the exchanges, you can buy it there, because at that stage it hasn't been pumped, okay? When you have a look at the charts, when you have a good look at the charts, you will see that, like for example, when we looked at Z Classic before and how it was around about, I think it was $4 or something like that, and then it went up, a huge amount on some news. Okay, so this happens. So Z Classic, if we go down, scroll, look at this picture of this chart again. Wait for it to load. So this August-October period, it was $2. Then when the news came out of what they were doing, it went up to basically 100. It went actually 200, and then stabilized around $100. But that is, that's 50, 100x, maybe 50x. Is it $2? Yeah. So literally from December it went up 50x, and like went higher and then dropped back. So it's done about 50x. And the thing is that this new coin that they're going to create, it's going to be doing the same sort of thing. You're going to have it where it's going to be stabilized. Now you might not know exactly how long it's going to take, but when some good news comes out, or when something happens, maybe it hits new exchanges, maybe they get exposure or get news, whatever, there'll be something that happens and you'll get this spike. And when this happens and you wake up and you go, oh my goodness, my coin is 50x. I put $1,000 into it and now it's $50,000. Maybe that's the time to sell out some tokens or coins. It could be, you might want to sell out 30%, half, or you might want to take the whole lot. Depends on what strategy you're using. But essentially, this is what you want to get into. You want to get into coins before they do this. Even though I'm talking about buying Z Classic, this basically guarantees that you can get into Bitcoin private for the cheapest possible way, which is why the price went up. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. Pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about the market's been going well. So you can make money while the market's going down, and when the market goes up, you're going to make a lot more money. This is still the best time to buy the cheapest coins. So I think I covered about it. I'm going to wrap that up. I appreciate everyone that's on board tonight. So it's good having you guys here, and I'm glad you asked some questions. There was a few people that I haven't answered some of the questions. I think there was one there for review on iGift. There was an airdrops. I haven't really done too much with airdrops, but I'll try and look that one up and see what I can do. I might even write that down now. I get on these live streams and I think about all the things that I got to do and I don't write them down. So I'm going to write down that one. I will check that one out. So iGift, airdrop. I'll report back on that one, and I'll keep you updated about the Bitcoin private. So that's good, and I appreciate all your support. Alrighty, well, I'll catch up with you tomorrow night, and looking forward to that. Okay,